Sup, nerd?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sup Nerd SupCast with Victoria. That's me. We also have Carlo, Adam, and Kim.
What's up?
So, Adam, let's tell our people what we're going to talk about today.
Damn, you guys sound very proper. Okay, we're going to talk about the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie. Not the 95 one. I thought we were going to talk about the 95 one, but then
I think we're going to be talking about it too.
A little bit about 95 and the one on the 98 Annihilation, I think.
97, man. 97.
Did you guys like this movie? Just overall, did you like it?
Hell yeah. You know what? Because I went in knowing I was going to watch a damn campy movie that wasn't going to make a lot of sense and was going to have a bunch of lame lame dialogue, some funny little moments and some CGI fight scenes. So I got my money's worth. I wasn't waiting for Academy Award winning movie. So for entertainment, I thought it was great.
Right, you paid for it? You went to watch at the cinema?
Not gold class.
Yeah.
Wow, you saw it in theaters.
Somebody tried to get me to watch it in gold class, and I was like, no.
It's not worth the risk.
Again,
it was good for what it was, like it's a movie about a video game, and I don't think it pretended to be anything more. It's not like they tried to weave in like a crazy story or anything like that. So
exactly,
yeah,
I think like the 95 version, it just was a movie about the game, and it didn't try to go into something deeper or made it into something completely different the way Monster Hunter did their movie, which was nothing like the game. So I got what I wanted. I think it's funny when there are people who are trashing this movie and they're very upset by it, but it's like, I saw who I wanted to see. Except I really didn't like the main character. I don't know how you guys felt about him, but I was not.
Well, we'll get to
a big
Cole
fan
in a bit.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about Mortal Kombat, the 95 film, is that for the longest time it was touted as the best video game movie in this long disturbing history of bad video game movies. Right? It was when people asked which one's the best, they would say Mortal Kombat. Not even that. Definitely not Street Fighter. Definitely not.
Do you agree with
Brothers.
That? That's not a high bar.
It's definitely not a high bar, but it was the best so far, right? Yeah, I think a lot of people had maybe high expectations for this particular version because it had that the pedigree of being the best video game movie, and this came out. Personally, for me, it's all right. The beginning and the end was great. Everything in the middle, apart from some the Kano parts, the rest were okay only. We'll get to Kano as well later, I guess.
I literally, despite overall enjoying the movie, it was fairly forgettable. I actually fell asleep in the middle. Kim fell asleep. We actually had to stop. To be fair, I was tired that day, but it wasn't enough to keep me awake. It was like a good 10-minute nap when he was in the desert and Liu Kang pops out of nowhere.
Yeah. And she's like, suddenly Liu Kang, and she's like, where did he come from? It's like he literally just appeared.
He did.
He just walked up. Hey,
I have fire in my hand, homie. Come hang out.
I've been looking for you guys in this desert that I've been spending my whole
Kim was like, you literally didn't sleep. I was like, wow, I must have missed a lot. And he's like, no, he literally popped out of nowhere.
That's so good.
Let's get to the point where let's talk about Liu Kang first. That actor annoyed the hell out of me. And I'm not even.
Why? I thought he was okay.
A little K-pop dancing little boy.
Yeah, he is a little too pretty for the role, but I think
Liu Kang, you've been in the desert, man. Where'd you get all that time to get all that skin product? Why your skin so clear? Hey, man, calm down. That's an issue with Liu Kang.
I don't know if I'm biased because of the 95 movie though, because in my head, all the characters should look like the guys from the 95 movie, including Raiden. When he wasn't a white Christopher Lambert, I was like, this doesn't seem right. Why isn't Raiden Christopher Lambert?
They changed him in Annihilation, right? The 97 sequel that was really, really bad. but they switched him out. They don't have the budget anymore, so it's not Christopher Lambert anymore. It was some other random white actor.
That was kind of messed up too. But
did you guys watch the follow-ups from the movies as well? I mean, there was the animation, Defenders of the Realm, and then there was Conquest, that was live action TV series. I mean, I didn't watch it as well. It's just more like I knew they existed, but didn't hear good things about it, so I just skipped the whole batch.
No, I don't think we've had time. Barely had time to talk about Mortal Kombat 2021. Did you guys have a favorite character?
Kano.
Kano
was great until he wasn't anymore. But yeah, I wanted more.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Definitely.
There was actually a reaction from Aussie Man because so many people were like, "Did you know that you're in Mortal Kombat as Kano?"
That's like a stereotype.
Like, it just reminded me of like some of my more offensive Australian friends when I lived over there a few years ago, and some of the offensive Aussies I know here, like in Singapore. So I think he's a breakout character for me, man. I mean, and you got all the good stuff too. Like you got him taking somebody's heart out. Well, I mean, something's heart out, I guess.
Oh, we are getting into spoiler territory, right? So we're just gonna spoil it. I mean,
this
whole been out for about
this
a month.
whole thing is gonna be a spoiler.
It's been a month. If people haven't seen it yet, that's because they didn't want to.
If people didn't know that people's hearts were gonna be ripped out, I mean,
it wasn't a person's heart. It was supposed to be a cool character.
Creature's heart.
Creature's heart. Yeah.
But oh my god, Reptile was just like kind of shit. I didn't like how they represented Reptile. I mean, he was like that in the old movie as well. It was like a really bad.
Oh man, he was even worse in the old movie. He was like a janky.
It was
janky, like
like PS1 graphics,
pixelated
90s CG dude.
Right. That was disappointing. I feel like Scorpion and
Sub-Zero, like
Sub-Zero were
for the original 95 movie, yeah, Scorpion and Sub-Zero was like really bad. I was, even as a kid, I was looking at what the Scorpion had, that like the palm.
Yeah, he had a little creature.
Like
no, as a kid, I liked that.
That was cool though.
How did they get that thing to come out? I actually wanted like the thing to come out of his palm again. No, I loved it.
It was so different from the game where like it was chasing Johnny Cage through the forest. It was just
the bamboo
but
forest.
I think the new movie really did like well for Sub-Zero and Scorpion. That's why I said like I love the beginning and the end, because that's where Scorpion and Sub-Zero were involved in. I mean, they got Sub-Zero in the middle, but the whole Scorpion versus Sub-Zero like story arc, that's amazing. I really like that.
That was great. Everyone's favorite are the ninjas, so it's like about time they focus on the ninjas.
And you kind of just want to see more of them, you know?
Yeah, that's
like.
I was gonna say, can we take a moment to appreciate though the actor that played Scorpion, Hiroyuki Sanada, and how he's just been typecast as angry Japanese samurai / ninja?
He's such a legend. I grew up watching his old movies.
But like,
he's been around. Yeah, exactly. He's been around.
That Tom Cruise movie, right? The Last Samurai, where he's like sort of the badass that beats up Tom Cruise and teaches him how to
he's the guy from Japan that made it through to Hollywood, right? So I grew up watching his Japanese films like Shogun Ninja, those kind of movies. Like really, my dad was a big fan. He showed it to me. So I've been like watching him since I was a kid. So he's pretty cool. I'd love to like see him more of him, like as Scorpion. Hopefully the sequels and all.
Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character as a kid?
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I think I played more Sub-Zero because it's like cheat move, right? Just freeze them.
Yeah, uppercut. Freeze, uppercut, cheese, uppercut.
Freeze and uppercut.
Yeah, and then once they started giving like Scorpion the teleport and the slide, I mean, he didn't have the slide, but it's more like the teleport. And I started like playing a lot more of like Scorpion. Did you guys play all the games, or you guys skipped a few?
I stopped after.
I haven't played. I think the most recent one, which is 11, but I played the last one, which was just titled Mortal Kombat, I think. And then they had like the really long
X,
story,
wasn't it?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat X, where like they had like that whole story from the start, and you end up in Outland, and you take control of different characters, different parts of the story. Yeah, I really liked the hell out of it just because of the story. That was
9 as well, because 9 was sort of like a soft reboot where the timelines and everything got really randomized and like really messy. So for PS3 and Xbox 360, they came out with 9, and then they sort of like retcon it with a time travel element. So 9 was about the first tournament again as well, the first 2 tournaments. So from there, with better graphics, and 10 on PS4, and now PS4 again, 11. So the numbers are kind of weird. They call 9 as MK as well, Mortal Kombat, but it's basically Mortal Kombat 9.
You're such a nerd.
I am. I play
Well,
all the
actually,
games.
9 was really retconned.
I know, actually,
Yeah. Technically.
Did you
I
guys
stopped
know
after-
Cabal,
Man, did you guys ever play Cabal?
Cabal was great as well, because he was in like he started in 3, right? Mortal Kombat
He started
3?
in 3.
3, yeah.
But it
I
was
used
cool
Cabal.
to see him like as
Yes.
an actual
I
figure,
was excited
and
about
a
like
character.
in the trailer when he popped up. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god. And I was really hoping that it wasn't just like shows up and dies.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
like really funny lines.
Yeah. No, I think it was just cool how they weaved him into like having a story. I don't know the lore behind it, but like to have like a little back and forth between Kano and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he
sick.
was
And-
actually the guy who took over. There was I'm
Oh.
geeking out again. So like in Mortal Kombat 4,
nerding.
there was another Black Dragon guy, because Kano was dead by then, and then he took over,
Right.
and finally that guy got really bad reviews from the fans. So when Cabal came in, another Black Dragon that looks cool, yeah. So he was pretty fun.
I generally like most of the characters. Sonya Blade, like it's like the actress looks exactly the same as the 95 one. But I've never been a fan of her character in general. And I usually always like female character in fighting games because there was always only 1 or 2. And so I used to cling on to those characters, but I never related to Sonya Blade, and they're just such blah characters. But I guess she doesn't have superpowers. She like doesn't really do anything. But I really like what they did with Scorpion. Kind of cool what they did with Sub-Zero too. At first, I didn't understand what they did with his armor and why it looked that way. It didn't look ninja enough, but I realized it's because it's maybe an ode to his that later resurrected.
Yeah, the later games, starting from like 9, 10, and now 11, the armors are more like less ninja-y, more like warrior kind of armors.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I'm totally fine with that. I think maybe we should talk about the main one, which is the main character, Cole.
He sucks.
Yeah.
Lame.
Cole
He was
sucks.
garbage.
It was-
I just didn't get the
Why,
hate
right?
Cole.
I didn't like him as well. Unfortunately, I mean, they try to humanize him by giving him a family, blah, blah, blah. But we had that with Scorpion
Well, fuck him.
already. Why?
Yeah. He's like a failure who somehow got this stamp on him through
Another
like
point, right? He's
Just
the
just
warrior, but
inherited
he keeps
it.
losing.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's just like
and his
shittest
special
warrior.
power when he gets his that really cracked me
Turn
up
on
when
the
he got his
goal, baby!
yeah. No,
Wrong,
his
man.
special power is getting hit.
Horrible.
It's like, oh, I've got this power. What does it do? And he just gets punched a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's like, I get hit.
And then an uppercut. I was like,
Yeah.
really? That's his power.
Oh my god, I'm kind of like a shitty Black Panther, like. it was
At
just
first
so
I thought,
weird.
maybe his little nightstick things. I'm like, really? Is that the weapon that he uses? I mean, I thought it would have been interesting if it was something where he could make it into anything. But yeah, he was an overall disappointing character. His character development sucked too. The family arc was really weak. He wasn't needed in this movie. They could have used any
Yes.
character that already existed in the universe. Any character.
100%.
Liu
It would have been
Kang.
better than him.
Liu Kang was supposed to be the champion of the first couple of Mortal Kombat games, right? Like he was in canon, he was the winner of Mortal Kombat
Well,
1,
yeah.
2, and 3. So
But right. But
I don't know
do you think they
why.
didn't use him because they were just like, maybe people need something new, like a different character? Like, why did they get this guy
What?
though? Why did they think
Someone
he
whose
would be
superpower
better?
is. I mean, it felt like Cole's superpower was courage or something
No.
stupid like that. It's like, look, this armor makes me brave because I can take punches now. I'm not a stupid
Yeah.
failed MMA fighter anymore.
So another thing that was new that they created for the movie was the Arrrrcana thing, which is
Yeah.
I was
gonna
like,
say.
what the fuck are you talking about?
That was-
Arrrrcana? I wasn't
that
a
was
big fan of it. I mean, they had reasons to give like only when they figure out the Arrrrcana, the movie will like the tide of battle will go back to them, the good guys. But I don't know, was it really necessary?
Nope.
I mean,
I don't think so.
begs the question, like what were all the bad guys' arcanas? What's Cabal's arcana? What's Goro's
His
arcana?
speed, like he was teleporting, right? Cabal got that teleportation thing.
Oh yeah, true.
That was his.
Yeah. It just seems so weak because what's his face? The spinny hat guy. I can't remember his name.
Kung Lao.
Wow.
Kung Lao, thank you. Yeah, it's just like and it's funny because while that was a big plot device, I guess the fact that Kano makes fun of it in between and sort of just talks about it as like, yeah, this is kind of rubbish. Like, yeah, thank God I didn't get a spinning hat, like deadly frisbee or whatever.
But I gotta give it to Kung Lao.
Frisbee
He got
sombrero.
the best looking and the most video game accurate fatality when he cut up like Natari?
Yeah.
Natara?
Melina.
Natara. No, Natara. The winged one.
The winged
The
one.
winged
Which is
I don't remember her
that
name.
one and the
Natara.
big
Natara.
guy with the hammer, Reiko. Deep cuts, man. Deep
Oh yeah,
cuts.
Yeah.
I was like, what? They threw them
Yeah.
in out of nowhere. No Johnny Cage. But then they threw those in. I was like, okay. But yeah, that the slicing in half thing, that was like amazing.
I was just thinking that too. Like literally, like that was, I think, one of my favorite, violent moments in it. And it just, and the joy I felt when I saw it, I was like, is there something wrong with me? But I love it. Like, this is what I want. Like, I want more of this, like that, like perfectly done. Like, that's the way it should look on screen.
How did you guys feel about like Melina? Are you guys big fans of her in the games, or like are you familiar with her?
She came later. I only played until Mortal Kombat 3. I think she came.
No, she was
after
in
that.
2 and 3.
Was
Because
she?
Katana, Princess of Outworld, she Melina is the sister, but then she's like the messed up, like like a monster.
She was in 2 and 3. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
was just a
look it up.
color shift.
I doubt your nerdness. Maybe.
You're doubting my nerdness.
I mean, just
Geekness.
a quick shout out too. I'm happy they didn't bring Princess Katana in this movie because nobody will ever replace Talisa Soto in my heart as that character in the
God.
original.
She was pretty hot in that movie. Yeah.
Dude, she was so
Uh,
hot.
Second movie,
Still,
she got bad lines with Sindel and all that.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah,
You
you can't bring Princess Katana
will
in.
die.
Oh, Melina was in 2, by the way. You're right. I forgot
Oh,
that she
no.
was just.
I know my
palette
shit,
swap.
woman.
You feel you
Kyle,
fail your
Kyle.
nerdness, Victoria.
He
You
was
know-
older. I mean, he's slightly older. He's older when he played the game.
I am old.
My excuse.
A lot of people were not happy that she looked different. She's they made her like, is she African American, like the actress?
Yes, or
Could be
she's not
British.
Asian looking.
She's definitely not Asian. So a lot of people were not happy about that, but I'm like totally cool. And
She's Aussie, actually.
Yeah, Aussie.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
CC
But I don't know
CC
her
something?
heritage.
right?
CC
CC
Springer.
Stringer, yeah.
CC
She's
Stringer.
She's
There
a
you
little
go.
bit thick as well. So a lot of people are like, oh, like it should be like the Asian thing. Like, yeah, I'm totally fine with
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I
she
liked
has
her. I liked her like
African
acting and the mouth
I
thing
agree.
happening. That was
I
like
agree.
pretty cool. And her character was building up to be this badass like female villain. And then it happened where it just I didn't like the way these characters were killed off, like just like that. Cabal as well.
Exactly.
Even Kano, such a great actor. It's just like, gnome in the face.
Yeah, that Kano Sonya Blade fight. Fuck. Disappointing.
If we're talking about like how the story kind of, it felt like they were building up to something and then it just ended because it's like, oh, there's a huge tournament, but then let's kill everybody before the tournament. And then they
Yeah.
all fight before the tournament and you're like, okay. And then it ends and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
So
oh.
that part where Raiden took them to the in-between like cloud
Yeah.
area. After that, it was just like a quick recap montage where Jax went off to be like Rico and then
Exactly.
like Melina died. like Sonya was like killing Kato was like, oh my god, it was so fast. I wanted those fights to have like, you know, a proper
had
screen time.
Not enough
Exactly.
fighting. That would be if my big critique is not the storyline or anything. It's like more fighting, more gore and guts. That's like why you watch a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah,
is for
just
that.
take
I mean,
out
plus it was
Cole's
like a thing-
story and then like
It was a pacing problem as well because if they had sort of like a couple of character arcs and they started to fight, like they had like a few fights in between, like one fight, one sort of little story, one fight, that would have been more fun instead of just watching what Adam said, sort of just like an end game montage where it's just like, oh look, everybody gets to ass whoop.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it,
there was
it
no
panned out
suspense
like
in the
that,
end.
right? It
Yeah.
was just a voiceover. I want to fight him, and then you just see him get magically teleported down.
so
and then
Raiden can teleport everybody like anywhere.
Yeah.
You want? It's like, okay, done. Yeah, it's just it worked. Story, I mean, again, the 95 movie story wasn't that great, but at least it was like kind of coherent. We know that these guys, 3 of them are going to that tournament. They're fighting, they have to win. And here it's just like they're just running away. So if you look back at it, we're like, oh, so this first movie is about surviving. And it's not about the tournament.
Mm.
And we're building
No,
up
they
to
said
it.
they-
But then,
They said they were going to bring the tournament to them, and then became that crappy little montage.
But it
it
was
wasn't
still,
even part of the
they-
tournament.
Yeah.
It felt like Sub-Zero was just this overpowered, like super god being that was chasing them.
Well,
And
he
then they
was
had
like
to
super
find-
cheap in the game. Like all the cheese moves. It's just like, you know, it's not that different than the game.
Yeah, like once you resolve that, then something should happen, right? Like they should be able to continue on with their, you know, their little quest or whatever it is that they were doing.
It's like they killed him and they didn't know what to do anymore. Like, oh, what do we do?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
he's gonna be
Storyline
back.
now?
He's like he signed up for like multi-movie deal.
Well, he does come back, right? I mean, you can't ever get rid of
he's
Sub-Zero.
gonna okay. So again, geeking out. He's gonna turn into Noob Saibot. So
Yeah.
there's his younger brother is gonna be the new Sub-Zero, according to the lore of the
The act-
video games.
Oh, okay.
And not the actor's younger.
Yeah, I was like,
brother.
what?
No, in the
Yeah.
video games. So the
But I
original
never played Noob Saibot either.
Noob was
I don't
like
think I've gotten that
the
far.
It was-
black colored ninja.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool as well.
And his name was an acronym for one of the leads, Tobias Boone.
Yeah.
It was just reversed.
The
Yeah, reverse or the 2 creators.
The
Ed Boon and
creators of the
John
game.
Tobias.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my light just went
Yeah.
out. Oh well. We can just continue.
But I mean, so what would be your favorite parts of the movie?
I've got one, and I think that it'll be all on your radars. When Kano's just discovering his Arrrrcana, sorry, not discovering his Arrrrcana, when they're fighting and he's just jumping up and down, and
oh,
you know, he
that's
says,
like a little throwback to the
The
video
sweep?
game.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cheap
Oh my god,
yeah,
that was
it's
so
like you only have
good.
one move. Then he gets caught,
And he
by it.
hits
He's
him
like,
with it
"Fuck."
again. Yeah. That made me laugh pretty hard.
It's like
That
3
was
times.
That's so
that's definitely
good.
top 3.
That was great.
Oh, that's a really good one. I love that. Kano, I mean, he, in general, I guess we all love him because he's funny and he just says all the things that, you know, they know how to laugh at themselves. Like the same, yeah. They, I don't know, a lot of Kano moments. Yeah, that was.
We wanted
definitely one of my
more.
top
I
three.
mean, he had that, you know, like ripping out the heart thing, which was the famous, infamous fatality from the first game. Him and like, and then we never got to see the Sub-Zero spine one though, right? I can't
No.
Oh
remember.
no, where he
busy
rips off the
getting-
head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We were busy watching him get burned by Scorpion's fatality.
You know, I think another favorite part was that link to Scorpion's power. You know, I kind of okay, mixed feelings about it. I was hoping it would develop into the thing that comes out of his palm somehow that you didn't like. But at the same time, I really appreciated I thought they were going to go this
yes.
route of like a slightly realistic angle of, you know, when he got the rope and tied it onto.
Yeah.
And I looked into that thing. It was actually used as a farming tool, as a tool. It wasn't,
kunai.
you know, it's not a weapon. Yeah, the kunai. Yeah, kunais in general, because we use it in Ghost of Tsushima and stuff and other Japanese oriented games. It wasn't originally a weapon. They just, I don't know if it became a weapon in real life, but in video games you see it. So when I looked up, like, oh wow, like ancient or people in Japan used to use this as like a tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see them like tie that rope and then make it, into a weapon was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't remember whether that was in the video games or definitely not in that animated movie, which I hope you guys have seen or plan to watch, which was really, I love it way better than the movie that came out last year. It's Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge. It's a feature-length animated film. Anyway, so I like the connection that he had with the kunai that his wife was using, and then he turned that into his main weapon. Like, pretty badass. I like that. So the opening scene, I really like. The ending fight. If I would have really loved it if there weren't any Cole in it. The last fight, it was like the Cole part was like, I just don't like Cole.
It was kind of superfluous, and he's he's like punching ice. Like there's this humongous battle going on behind him, and he's like, ah, like,
punching
ice.
On,
man.
If they removed him, if they removed him, this movie would be a lot better.
Like, my favorite part would probably be, honestly, is Kano making fun of Jax's baby arms before he unleashes Arrrrcana. We just give him shit about like, hey, what you gonna do with those, Mike? Little baby arms. I actually started bursting out laughing, like out loud. It's rare for a movie to just do something like that and make me laugh, but like I was just like, this is so ridiculous. I love it.
Jax was great though. Jax was fun. I mean, the arm thing, the Arrrrcana, it's not part of the lore, but like they made it part of it. And the actor is actually Jimmy Olsen in the Supergirl CW series.
Yes.
Oh, he's in Supergirl. Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, this guy looks familiar because my main watch is like, Supergirl. And I've seen this dude before. It was like clean shaven and skinny. And now he's like a big buff dude.
Interesting. No wonder.
One character that kind of like, in a way disrespected would be Goro. Do you guys agree?
That you
because he get his ass whooped by Cole, Mr. Courage Armor.
Yeah, Goro was like
plot armor,
the champion in the first Mortal Kombat, like the game, and even in the '95 movie as well. He was like this scary monster that's like, he's the champion. He's undefeated.
I still don't even understand how he was defeated in the movie, because I actually had to rewind. I'm like, wait, how did he die? Like, did he really die to like?
Oh, dude, X in the back. It wasn't even Cole that fucked him up. It was Cole's wife or whatever.
No, well, he got his like hands cut off and all that. It's just so random. You got teleported into a garage. There's some people talking about it online. It's like, why did Shang Tsung like teleport him into the garage of all places? He'd be like, where the fuck am I?
Exactly, though. But they made it like a horror movie, which I didn't like because it didn't feel like a Mortal Kombat movie. That entire sequence in the movie didn't feel like a Mortal Kombat movie. It felt like a horror scene where Goro's come out and he's like a monster instead of like a Mortal Kombat character. It felt really, I don't know. I hated that whole scene.
Wait. Before we move on, could we talk about like all the ice powers that Sub-Zero has? I thought that was done really, really well. And I thought that, there's a shot where he freezes the blood off like Scorpion or whatever and stabs him with it. Like all of that was kind of cool. And the fight choreography between Joe Taslim and the Japanese guy, like that whole scene had a bunch of really, really cool stuff. Like him kicking him into the sword that was planted in the ground and stuff like that. Beautiful. I just wanted to nerd out about that.
Yeah, the fights are really realistic. Really well I like that. Like, pretty cool. They apparently they did all the stunts as well. That's why the director was like, especially for Sanada, he does his own stunts. He's an old dude as well. Like he's like about 50. He's around 50
They're all
now.
martial arts backgrounds.
Right now.
Yeah.
And the moves that like Kim was talking about, the ice moves, they're actually from the game as well. Some of the scenes where he made an ice wall and then threw like
Yep.
That's from the game. That's
and then he had the didn't he have the decoy as well?
Yeah.
The decoy.
He went down and then he pulled back in the ring, I think it was.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty cool. Those are pretty
That final
cool.
scene in the ring was great. That's when you see him use all his moves from the
Yeah.
game.
But
That's why
it just
I
feels like the
love
problem was
the parts with Scorpion
they
and
used all of
Sub-Zero.
their they used all of their creative juice, I think, just figuring out how to make Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight cool, and everything else in between was kind of just like, oh well, let's figure
Yeah.
this out.
Why don't they
Tacked on.
stretch it out? I mean, okay, the animated movie that I'm saying, like, it's way better than this current film, the live action film. They actually focus on, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero's like rivalry, especially on, because the title is like Scorpion's Revenge. We get to see him, like, how he tried to get back when he was like in hell. Well, this is like nether realm. Yeah. So it follows his story about his family and everything. And at the end, you get that, like, they're building up to that big fight, but you get to see him throughout the film. Yes, there's like Johnny Cage, Sonya, and like Liu Kang involved as well. But the main arc is about Scorpion. Here, it's Scorpion was just like, hey, there, and then at the end. So it's just like a bookend thing, which I didn't like. I would just wanted more.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I could have watched this like a live action, just Scorpion versus Sub-Zero movie, like an hour and a half of that.
I reckon.
That would work, man. Like, they really didn't need like Cole.
Yeah, it's a shame. I hope they go back to that theme. I don't know if they will, because they've already kind of done it. So I don't know if they're going to go back and redo that plus get into a bit more. I wish they did that since the beginning. It's my favorite character growing up was Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and it's like I didn't even know it was like a common thing that other, because my brothers all liked we all had like different characters that we really liked. So I just assumed no one else was interested in Scorpion, but it seemed like he's a super
like
popular character.
Ed Boon's favorite, like his company's logo is Scorpion.
That's true. I guess I should have realized that.
Yeah.
The subconscious like marketing there.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah.
What do you guys think about the lack of Johnny Cage?
I think it's fine. I think they should have
I think
put
it's
him there
okay.
instead of fucking Cole. But other than that, I
Yeah,
didn't miss him.
I would have actually just like I would have vibed with a Johnny Cage main character instead of Cole, to be honest.
I wonder if they took him out because they had Kano already, and he was such, Kano was super entertaining already. But it also would have been kind of fun to have these like two guys.
I think the reason they probably kept him is because they want franchise, right? So they want to, because they allude to him at the end of the movie where they're just like, I gotta go to Hollywood.
Definitely. They're trying to. Oh, did you hear about the fans like supporting Ryan Reynolds to be Johnny Cage?
Oh, that would work.
That would have been like
I would
cool.
watch.
That
Exactly.
was that's a good idea.
Because the
Ryan Reynolds could do anything at this point.
in the retcon like video game stories, right? They actually have Cage as a character who was like oblivious about the tournament. He thought it was a film set, and he goes through the entire story, like being like, "Oh, it's a stunt, like section and all that stuff." It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
We'll wrap it up soon. Let's talk about scores. Start with Carlo.
I mean, I'd probably give it like a solid, like, for me, like 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, it's like I said, for me, like I wasn't looking for a world breaker, but it was entertaining enough. Maybe a 7 actually, like a 7 out of 10. Like I had a good laugh at the movie. It wasn't the best, but if you go in with a certain expectation for it being sort of a stupid, campy video game movie, then like I got exactly what I wanted out of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Vic.
In the big scheme of movies and the movie world in general, probably a 3, but not because I didn't like it. It's just, as a movie overall. Otherwise, as far as video game movies, if I'm thinking of it, I feel the same as Carlo. I got what I wanted more or less, but I would have given it like +3 points if freaking Cole wasn't in this movie. Like +3 points if there was no Cole. That's my rating.
So that's out of 5. 3 out of 5. That's what you're saying.
Oh, out of 10.
Oh, damn.
3 out of 10.
No,
I don't. But that's what I mean. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just meaning like objectively as a movie. If I was rating in like the video game scape, then like probably a 6 or 7 as well in the video game world. But again, +3 to that if Cole wasn't in it. So yeah.
Okay. Kim.
I'm with Carlo, like solid 7. And it helps to watch the 95 version or the 95 movie before and then watch this shortly after, because I think it just adds to the whole vibe of it being
Right.
what it is,
Right.
It's not trying to be anything else.
Cool. For me, I'll probably put it around like 6 or even 5.5 because I watched the animated film from last year, and that was freaking amazing. You guys really should try to watch it, and then like see if that changes your opinion on like this live action movie. Because the storyline, the way they did it was like way more satisfying. The ending as well, like wow, the fatalities, even though it was animated. So that I had that to compare with. So I'm like, this one, if it were just like, the first part and the ending, I would have given him like maybe 7 or 8 because it's like Scorpion and Sub-Zero amazing. Middle parts, I don't know. For me, it's like maybe 6 if I'm being generous.
What would you give the Scorpion's Revenge animation?
Oh, 8. 8 out
Solid
of 10.
8.
Solid 8.
Damn. All right.
So good. So good. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll get on that.
I think sort of as a parting conversation, like based on this movie that you guys have seen, right? What do you think of its chances as a franchise for the future?
It's tough, man, because right now we don't know the numbers yet because, there's, if you didn't notice, there's a global pandemic, which is going to make it harder. I don't know how they're going to look at the numbers because you can't just rely on just cinema, like, moviegoers, like tickets and all that stuff. HBO, it's out on HBO. So I think I'll look at the views. I don't know.
I mean, I was just remarking to Kim at the end of the movie. I was like, I don't know if I really enjoyed this movie mostly because of nostalgia, because this game meant so much to me as a kid, and I just liked how they did. And the movies are so much like the games. And I'm so amazed how long it's lived, especially since a lot of, in my opinion, the middle title games were kind of shit. Like all the new characters, that's why I stopped playing. I was like, I don't care about all these new characters.
Quan Chi was cool.
Well, okay, there maybe occasionally here or there, but it wasn't enough to keep me engaged in the middle parts. But this movie did make me want to play. At the end of it, it did make me want to, I went to go download Mortal Kombat X and I already have 11, but I haven't played them yet. But it made me want to like actually play it. I think there is longevity as long as the game lives on. There will always be another movie for a franchise. I don't know. The only way I could see it working is, them digging into the Scorpion sort of storyline.
I mean,
or
there
any
are
of their
like
storylines.
Hundreds of characters that they can focus on. So, I mean, in the games, they're onto the second generation already. Where like Johnny Cage's like kid, Jax's kid, like they're taking like the main roles in 11. So it'll be interesting.
I was never into that though, for like the generational thing. Yeah, I never cared about like the sons of like the original gang for any game or movie. But
sons.
Yeah, just not my thing.
But I think they are moving forward with it because the movie was, well, kind of like decently reviewed. I don't know about the numbers, but then they did sign Sub-Zero Joe Salem to like multi-film deal. So he was the one that said like, yeah, he signed already. The other people, they just not saying anything. Maybe they're already signed, like, Sanada and like the rest. And Cole, oh God. Yeah.
Well,
garbage.
We'll see.
We're lucky Cole dies off screen for the next movie.
Maybe Johnny Cage will just like punch his head off. That would be it.
God. Oh, that would be the best. Oh my God. I would give it
It's the only part of him that's not protected as well.
Yeah, right? It's just like Johnny Cage can do that little shadow kick, like
oh my God, that'd be great.
Yeah, I kind of felt like with the whole movie, it felt like, because after watching sort of the 2 Disney Plus series now, I'm just like, maybe this works better as a TV show. Like, then you can sort of just have a little bit of a focus for like a 30-40 minute episode, like on one character and what they're doing and what their arc is over a season, and then end in sort of that big battle. Because then they wouldn't have to force themselves into a corner, Like, But maybe that's just because the MCU TV shows, at least the last two, have spoiled me in the sense that like you can take little characters and sort of expand them, and have time with it instead of just trying to cram in. Because there must have been like, off top of my head like five or six main characters each side, right?
Yeah.
Shang Tsung's side plus Cole's side. So
Cool.
I think trying to sort of fit them all together in like intelligently in like a 2-hour movie. I don't even think it was 2 hours, right? Maybe it was just about 2 hours. I don't think it was enough time for it. So I think that's the issue. Like maybe I'd probably watch like a weekly episode of the show, and I'd probably watch more seasons of it than this movie.
True
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
I actually disagree with that, but it's interesting that, different opinions. I don't think I would watch this every week. I don't think I care enough to watch every week. I want to get my like 1.5 hours of fun and then just like
If
peace
it
out
were
until they make
like,
one 10 years later.
like a story following Scorpion or like Liu Kang, characters that we know and love, I would watch it. But if it's Cole and I have to watch every week, probably not.
Yeah. It'd be like Mandalorian, right? Like just following one character the entire time and kind of getting attached to that character, then that could be interesting. But if it's different characters every week, I don't know if I'd watch it beyond the first 5.
That's a
Because the
good
first
point,
5 would be the coolest characters. And then after that, I don't care anymore.
Fair enough.
But yeah. Maybe we can get more into video games next episode. We do have a special outfit by Uniqlo, who sent us their esports sportswear range, which is interesting, and we will comment on that when we are wearing it next time, and let you guys know how it feels. Finally, the dream of all gamers, our very own esports apparel.
So much better.
Getting
at
better
games.
now. We'll test it out and see if our gameplay is better after wearing these outfits.
What can we talk about next time? Like what's coming up that's getting us excited?
Loki.
Loki's in June. Like
Well, we'll take
middle of June.
recommendations from everyone. I think if you're listening to this podcast right now, let us know what you want us to talk about. And we want to know.
vote for Harley Quinn. The Harley Quinn DC animated series, 2 seasons. It's amazing. We got to talk about it.
Yes, we will discuss this. I want to talk about it too. All right. I think that wraps it up, right, guys?
Yep. That's about
Yeah.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. All right.
Thanks,
well,
guys. Awesome
thanks
catch up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the
See you guys
Sup
next time.
Nerd SupCast with
SupCast.
Carlo,
What's up?
Adam,
What up?
and Kim. Yeah.
I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys
All
next
right.
time.
Take care, you guys. Thank you for listening.
Farewell.
We need some
Bye.
outro music.
Thanks for listening.
It's just a freaking pigeon. Okay, bye.
Cool.
Sup, nerd.